All right, so let's make sure. There we go. Okay, now the audio is on. I don't think I had my audio on. Okay, so um, I remember a story one time that you might be interested in. I heard Seth Riggs talk about. And there was a very prominent star, female singer. She's still prominent. One of the favorites in the singing world came to Seth's studio in some distress, and she had really having some real challenges making her high notes. And so Seth listened to what she was doing, and he said to her, "We need to raise your key," which shocked her. She said, "Wait a minute, raise my key? Hey, Subia, hi, how are you? I just want to make sure that you can hear me and see me, Subia." So we're in the pre-show right now. We've got about 5 minutes before the top of the hour. But, it must be early in the morning for you there, or late at night, however you want to say it. What is it, about 2 in the morning, or 2, what would it be, about, I don't know what, almost 2:30 in the morning. So, hi, Subia, and welcome. Great to see you here today. So I'm just sharing this story about Seth Riggs, and can barely audible, it says. Subia, can you hear me? How audible is it to you? I want to make sure that... so I have another comment. Hi, Charles. Glenn, nice to have you guys with us today. Audie, hi, just watching your episode about self-sabotage. Yes, we do that, don't we? Can you guys hear me? I have one comment saying that you can barely hear me. And we don't want to have that. We want to definitely have you can hear me well. So, yeah, everything is good. All right. So, Glenn, check your settings there. I'm not sure that it's coming from my side. I think it might be your side. Charles, Audie, Yapadios, hi, nice to see you. Altu, nice to see you here. According Glenn, the others are saying they can hear me and see me okay. I just don't want to leave you out in the cold there. Double check your settings and make sure that everything's turned up. Joe Weston says everything's loud and clear. Thanks, you guys, for just giving me a double check on that. Donna from Baltimore. Hi, Donna. Nice to have you here today. Almost 4 p.m. back there. So, Donna, we just had about 8 inches of snow here yesterday. So I did a lot of scraping snow. And I know you guys have had your share of the storms this season as well. For us, we're just getting started. Anyway, when I say that, the last time it's been this cold was December 23rd. And we had lows in the teens last night. So we've had a pretty mild winter. We need the water. For those of you who don't know, I live in the Intermountain West in the state of Utah. It's the second driest state in the union, and we get our water from the melt off of the snow in the mountains, and that's how we supply ourselves. So anyway, great. Audie says she can see and hear okay. It looks like Donna's giving me the high sign too, so thank you very much. Abby, hi. Abby says the volume's a little bit low. So that's 2 that are saying it's having a hard time hearing. I hope that you can find something to turn it up on your end here. I think I've got it pretty well maxed out on my end. Okay, so just checking my master audio. It looks like everything's cranked up pretty high on my end. Okay, so let's... We've got just about another minute, and then we'll be headed towards the top of the hour, and we'll really start the show. Anyway, I was just telling you a little bit about this famous singer who, when they raised the key, everything started working for her. All the tension, all the pressure of her voice left. And So it's really counterintuitive, isn't it? So that's why I want to talk about it today. We're going to talk about, and let me ask you this. Have you ever raised the key before in trying to hit your high notes? Have you ever raised the key to make it easier? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. I'd really be curious. Hi, I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live number 69. Today we're going to be talking about how raising the key makes singing easier. Impossible, right? Well, this is something that's so counterintuitive to what we think. We think that if we're straining or reaching, that we're having trouble getting to the notes, that we need to lower the key. Well, I'm here to tell you that more than likely you need to raise the key, and we're going to discuss that in some detail and see what conclusions we can come to. All right, so just to say hi to everybody that's joined here today, I want to say hi to Victoria. I've already said hi to those of you who joined me in the pre-show show. But Victoria, hello, nice to have you here. Vade Surge from Turku, Finland. Great to have you here. And Berno Inferno, hello. Coming in from the UK, awesome. And all right, so Abby says it's a little bit light volume, so I'm gonna try and speak up here, but it seems like most everybody's able to hear and see okay. Okay, so let me ask you again this question, and several of you have said no, I've done many times. Subia says I think you're saying you've raised the pitch many times. Abby says she's never tried it. Donna said it has helped sometimes. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on here with raising the key. And it has to do with the bridge. So let's start for a second with let's start with the girls, because it looks like there are more ladies with us today than there are guys for the moment. But ladies, your first bridge typically begins at the A above middle C. Here's middle C. So right here is your first bridge. Imagine for us, and that's the A. Imagine for a second if your songs took you to the F, F sharp, G, and A flat. So three or four half tones below the A. Where are you singing that song? Let's just say those notes are always landing on the G or the A flat. Or maybe the F sharp. Imagine doing that over and over again during your song. Where is your voice landing? Anybody want to take a guess? Where is the voice landing when you're singing just, when the ladies are singing that F sharp, G, A flat? Well, anyone care to guess? You're landing at the top of your chest voice. And very, very common for all of us singers, if we're not quite at the bridge, we tend to just do it in chest. And now we're doing it at the highest point of our chest voice. Now for the guys, typically your bridge starts at this E above middle C. And so if you're singing a song that's always landing on D, always landing on the C sharp, maybe even the E flat, you're singing very often, most of the time, you're just singing in the chest voice. And so we're always topping off the top of chest over and over again. So what happens? Our voices get tired. Our voices start wearing out. We can even get hoarse. If one or two notes jump up a little higher, it's very tempting, since we're already in chest, just to chest it a little bit higher, belt it up, pull up the chest. And so because we're always singing in a particular song at the top of chest, and if we did that then throughout the evening, if you have multiple songs to perform, or you're in a show, musical theater show or production that you're always singing at the top of the chest voice, even though it's not so high you can't do it, but you're always hitting the top of the chest, you start feeling the wear and tear on your voice. And people can feel it. You can feel it. You've probably been there yourselves. Where now all of a sudden your voice is tiring, you're maybe starting to get a little pitchy, and it's just difficult to do. Why? Because you're always landing on the top of the highest notes in your chest voice. And this causes us to always be straining and always be working really hard on the voice. And so after you do that for a couple days, your voice is going to be tired. You're going to have to take vocal rest. You might even be starting to get hoarse, even though maybe you haven't been pulling chest voice too high into head, because you've always been topping off that chest. It's going to be very, very challenging. Okay, let me just say hi to a couple other people and take a couple comments here. So, Ruzba Majidian from Iran. Hi, great to have you here with us. Altu says, or the bridge, he says, yes, the song Nature Boy in F minor is easier than in E minor. So cool. So you found that to be the case. In F, you land at the F4 as a high note. On the E minor, you have to land on the E, which is harder. Yeah, so what Altu is introducing here is the idea of raising the pitch so that now the note lands in the bridge. Now it's easier for us to find the blend of the mix of head voice and chest voice. And immediately that relieves the tension from always topping topping off your singing at the very top of chest. It's such an counterintuitive thing when you tell someone that you're teaching who's just struggling with the notes, because let's just in the case of the bridge, he's singing in E minor and he's always landing on E, or maybe E flat or D or whatever. Well, that probably wouldn't be the case in that key, but anyway, it's so much easier to take the key up, raise it, and so that note now is landing on the F, which is where it's easier to blend that, easier to mix that. Great comment. Thank you, Altu. Subia, but like only when I can't sing the low notes. Okay, so she's raising it for the reason in the bottom she can't hit them, so she raises it up. That could get you in trouble, Subia, because now maybe it's going to put you at the top of chest, and now it's going to be a strain. However, that's a valid reason. You got to have those low notes. So it might be a song selection too, is an issue. Yapadio says, well, if an important note is in the middle of the bridge, then raising the key might help. I had such an experience lately. Awesome. So some of you have had this experience, and that's validates what we're talking about today. So, Yapadios, can you elaborate on that a little bit? What was your situation? Do you remember what song it was or what key you were in and what you did to change it? While you're responding to that, let me just say hello to Donna says, and it hurts. I don't know where that, hopefully it's helped sometime. And it hurts. Okay, so let's talk about it, because if done correctly, it doesn't hurt, it actually feels better. And we're going to address that in a minute. The bridge says the entry of the bridge for men, I guess, is it is the E. Altu, it's the E is the first note in the bridge, but yes, the D and E flat are approach notes to the bridge. For the ladies, it would be maybe the G, the A flat are notes approaching the bridge, and so it's very appropriate to start your mix even a little bit earlier, if possible. But for some reason, it's very challenging for us to have those high notes land on, because you have to fine mix. I don't know, it's just harder on the lower notes. Why is it harder on the low notes? Because we are so close to chest. We're just there, so we do it in chest. All right. So the bridge says, Chuck, can't these pitches be sung in mixed voice? Yes, they can. And that's a really good point. So the D, the E flat, maybe even the D sharp, or the D flat, C sharp, D, E flat, they can be sung in mix. What's hard is when the music just jumps us to that, we're down in chest, you know. So if I said, my Bonnie, so if I sing in My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, I don't know if this is a tune that you're all familiar with, but we grow up with this in America. These are kind of fairy tales and to songs, or folk songs. If I said, my Bonnie lies, so I'm kind of mixing that. But if I'm not used to that, and if music is going on down in chest, and then all of a sudden we jump up to the tendency to say, my Bonnie lies, which is just chesting it. Boom, boom, boom. So we're slamming in the chest. Now, when you get experienced, when you get more experienced, you can just be singing in chest. Whatever the notes are, whatever the tune might be, and then you could jump up and sing, my pa. But I have to narrow the vowel, which is okay. Bonnie lies over the ocean. You can hear that I'm not splatting it. My Bonnie lies. So yes, it is possible. But for some reason, my Bonnie lies over the ocean. But now, for some reason, you'll have to experiment with this yourselves, you guys. But for some reason, when I land on that F, it's easier. It's not like I'm on a tightrope and I'm trying to find that mix. It's there. It's faster. It's easier. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. It's easier than doing it down lower. And so to raise the key makes it easier to hit the high note, and it takes the pressure off of our voices because we're landing in the bridge. We're landing in that mix place where the voice really starts to feel so much better rather than the top of chest. Okay, taking a couple more comments here. As the bridge, as Altu has pointed out, we can bridge earlier, but try raising the pitch and the key. I think you might find that making the jump to higher notes also gives you. So, for example, if I said my Bonnie lies, now I can actually bring that mix down with me. Bonnie lies over. So I'm almost doing that whole phrase in mix because it's pitched up a little higher. But if I'm down here, my Bonnie lies over the. I don't get quite as much opportunity to dwell in mix as I do by raising the key. That's kind of another principle. Is that now you're gonna not only relieve the high note, but it's easier to gather some of those other notes that are closer to the bridge, and keep them in your mix also. Bruno says, Nate, let me see. I'm lost on that conversation. So, hi Charles, nice to have you with us today. Charles Young, yeah, I think that singing higher sometimes really is easier. I find that mixed voice in C-sharp 5 is quite easier than B4 or A4. So Charles, I'm guessing you're a high tenor, and there really is a lift that you get once you hit that B, C, C-sharp as a high tenor or lyric tenor. This is easier to sing because there's those upper resonances really kick in, and yes, you're exactly right. Now, that's probably very true for many of the ladies who are with us today. They kind of experience that same thing as the high or the lyric tenor might. Okay, so some other conversations going. I'm not going to try and jump into those. Epadio says, I don't remember the song, but I've noticed that G above middle C tends to be easier for me now than the F or F sharp. So that's indication that we're getting. So let's backtrack a little bit. What if you don't know how to bridge? What if you can't bridge or you don't bridge yet? You could probably still do this if you kept the vowels closed down. So for example, let's say I couldn't bridge, I didn't know how to bridge, which by the way, we can help you learn to bridge if you're new to this channel. That's really what it's all about, is learning to bridge. But if I didn't know how, I could still coach you to mix that note. If I said, my body, now this is raising the key, so I'm landing in the F, excuse me. But if you didn't know how to mix, you might try and chest that too. My body, so you're gonna spread the vowel and reach up. But if I just said, my bo, so go to boini. My body lies, just, you may not sing it that way, but just to feel it. My body lies, my bony lies over the ocean. So narrow the vowel to feel what it's supposed to feel like. My body, or you could say, mum, 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 mum. Do it on mum or mom. Mum, 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 mum. Mom's really good. Mum, 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 mum. So you can narrow that vowel and feel what it feels like. My body lies. Now go a little more towards normal, but leave it in that same feeling you just had. My body lies over the ocean. And now you're in a mix. And that's a little bit easier than maybe learning how to do that on a lower key. Okay. Taking some more comments. Maybe this is why in your free exercises you start the octave repeat scale at A flat 3, so the high note is A flat 4. Yes, alto, you're exactly right. We take you up there because it's easier, there's less grab, there's less temptation to do it in chest and bring it down. So we bring that upper down into the bridge, and it's actually a little bit faster than trying to get rid of the weight of the chest voice going from low to high. Great observation, alto. For you guys who don't know alto, he's in alto. Gosh, now I'm drawing a blank. Are you in Greece or are you in Turkey? Anyway, he's really good at getting into some of the nitty-gritty of this technique and figuring out the nuances of it. So thank you, the bridge. Yeah, your examples sound better when you land on the F4. That's probably because I'm still fighting a little more chest than I should be on that E. Same principle, ladies, for you. So if the ladies were starting at the B flat, and it's like, my body. Now, you're not going to pull quite as hard as I pulled there because it's very high for me. But if you were to spread that vowel there at the G or the A flat, my body. So it'd be easier for us to have you raise that key, easier for you to raise that key, to put it right in, actually it'd probably be even easier if you were at about if you went from C sharp to, or D flat to B flat. My body lies over the ocean. Same principle is true for you. It would be like from D flat to B flat, or from D to B. My body lies. And as long as you narrow that vowel, it gets you right into your mix in that key, whereas it's harder to do on the lower key. You can apply this now to any song that you may be singing. You look at it, you think, oh my gosh, this is hard on my voice. What key is it in? And you realize you're landing just below the bridge all the time. Raise the key. Okay. Donna's giving thumbs up. Bridge, I love this topic. Thanks, Altu. Oh, hi, Srinath from India. Great to have you with us today. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but thank you for joining us. Borneo, girl from Italy. All right. Great to have you with us today, Borneo girl. Eilish, great to have you here. Hello. Is it okay to bridge into falsetto? The idea of bridging is not to bridge into falsetto, but to bridge into a blend of chest and head voice. So if I bridge into falsetto, I'm not bridging because there's a disconnection to the tone. If I'm in a mix, if I'm mixing, so I have a blend of chest and head. If I'm back to this, my bonnie, but if I bridge into, or if I go into falsetto, then I'm not bridging. I'm just breaking into falsetto. My bonnie lies, my bonnie. So that's a falsetto. Now, if I'm going to go into head voice, I want to go up a little higher. My bonnie lies, my bonnie lies. Keeping it in mix. My bonnie. Now I'm bridging into head voice. My bonnie lies over the ocean. So now if I were just breaking into falsetto, I'm not bridging. My bonnie lies. That's falsetto, which we don't use, and I don't teach that. Okay. Falsetto is not connected. You cannot. There you go, Bruno and Ferno. I just need to read your comments. I don't have to spend all that time explaining that. Thank you. The bridge says, light mix mean breathy or pianissimo? That's you're describing. So the bridge asks an interesting question. It's kind of describing rather than a quality of the vocal cords coming together. So there's this quality of the vocal cords, and then there's piano, pianissimo. So piano, which is a dynamic, a loudness or a softness, is not related to, shouldn't be related to breathy. Let me explain that. Standard chest. Now, I'm going to do chest again. If I can get rid of that scratch. So it's a quiet chest. Now here's breathy chest. So I'm doing it quiet, but you can hear that it's also breathy. It doesn't need to be breathy. It can be quiet or piano or pianissimo. Is different than. So to go breathy, I'm changing the chord adduction. I'm not adducting as firm. I'm not getting the vocal cords to come together firmly. But I can still be piano, pianissimo. I can still bring the volume down quiet without going breathy. I can just speak softly. And now I'm speaking in my chest voice, but I'm not speaking breathy. Okay? Great question. It's something that once you start realizing it, that you can have different dynamics, loudness and softness, without changing the condition of the chord structure, without going under contraction, under compress. It's, we want it to be just right, no matter the dynamic. So the consideration is keep those vocal cords in the same condition while you're going louder or going softer. Okay, so saying hi to so Donna's having damage due to acid reflux has been hard finding my comfort with keys. You can hear, Donna, my reflex. When I actually do better higher than I do lower. And when I get down low, it's just scratchy. Plus, it's dry out here. Even with snow on the ground, we have very low humidity. And living in a desert is, I think, murder on the vocal cords. I grew up in the Midwest, the United States, in the state of Missouri, which you're supposed to say Missouri if you're a native, which I am. But the humidity makes my vocal cords feel so good. Okay, so let's take a couple other comments here. And so more to Donna's comment. If there's acid reflux and the vocal cords are swollen throughout the cord structure, and maybe even the acid starts to wear the mucosal lining, starts to inflame the mucosal lining of the vocal folds and the vocal cords, and so now everything, you tire faster, it's fuzzy sounding, maybe scratchy or whatever, then it's true. Raising the key may or may not be as much benefit. For me, it actually is. My particular kind of reflux seems to affect more of the bottom than it does the top. So if I raise the key, body lies over. I don't think that's the right pitch, but it's actually easier for me to do that than it is to do this. Well, that's not too bad, but it gets scratchy easy. So sometimes condition of the chord structure is going to be an outlier. You're going to have to. That's a different subject, different topic, but still, the bridging process is going to help make it easier than just doing that, Donna, at the top of your chest. Then it's really going to tire out fast. So if you possibly can, it's better to try and get into that bridge or above the bridge into head than to top off the chest voice all the time. Mike, hello Michael, nice to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us. Subia says, I've bridged very high, but sometimes I run out of breath. Why do you think you're running out of breath, Subia? Most of the time there's two reasons. Number one is the vocal cords aren't coming together firmly enough, and so too much air is escaping too quickly. Number two is we're not taking time to get a nice breath, low breath, so tummy out, air in. And then, for me, I kind of hold my tummy a little taut while I'm using the air, and until all the air is run out, and that usually gives me more than ample supply of air. And then to reload, I relax that, tummy comes back out, diaphragm drops, pulls air into my lungs. So see episode 15 or 16, or both, about breathing. But Subia, get those vocal cords together, even up high, so that you don't lose so much air so quickly. Sinroth says, hi, nice to have you with us today. I do remember I think you said you're from India. Great to have you here. As I scroll up here and see, sorry, I've forgotten already, but so Sinroth's comment, from India, yeah. So nice to have you here. I think I found my mixed coordination, but find it hard to maintain the balance. But yes, I find it easier to sing higher with a softer voice. Yeah, and that softer voice will get stronger. You're just finding the balance. It's harder to balance because it's new. Rosepuff, when I sing low notes, hi Rosepuff, nice to have you here. When you sing low notes, the inside of my throat hurts a little bit. What causes this? Well, Rosepuff, I don't know. Unless you're jamming it down, unless you're jamming your larynx down, trying to push it down to reach or kind of push down to reach the low notes, that could cause it to be sore. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have to push down or impose the lyrics down or to do whatever to try and get that low note. Because that could cause I don't know that maybe a better way for me to describe that might be it kind of strains your muscles a little bit. But the inside of my throat hurts a little bit. It's hard to know for sure exactly how what you mean by that, but that's the only thing I can think of. Unless you're sick, unless you have a cold or a sore throat, you could be overreaching downward instead of overreaching upward. By manipulating the lyrics down, it could maybe cause it to be sore. Do you drop your lyrics? So maybe you're talking to Rose Puff about that. And I think that could be it. Okay, Donna says, yes, it does. Thank you. Yes. Subia, the first reason describes me because I'm not able to control the air and it loses quickly. No, Subia, you can't control the air. You're still learning. You're learning how to do it. You will be able to do that eventually. It's not that you can't. It's just that you haven't yet. Or I'm sure you're getting better at it. So be sure to acknowledge your progress. Be sure to acknowledge your progress. Okay, so Matthew. Hi, Matthew. Nice to have you with us today. Try my Bonnie as moi, Bonnie. Yeah, as the vowel, and that's it. Book to get your lips to quiver. That's it. Book. So I think that's a good point. And if I said my Bonnie lies over the ocean. Now, obviously, and I'm sure Matthew agrees that we wouldn't be able to necessarily sing it that way. But here's what it does. It gets you the feel of your mix. Or ladies up here. My body. And by doing that, you get the feel of the mix. And then you can go more towards back to the normal sound because the audience may not buy moi boni, right? But they will buy my bonny lies, my, because I can feel that moi gets me there. But I have to do it in such a way I just go to that feeling rather than rely on moi. My bonny lies. And if you can do it slick enough, you can even do moi. My bonny lies. Yeah, you can sneak that in and get you in the right place and put you in your mix. So thank you, Matthew. Great comment. Bridge, can you recommend another word in place of new for the new to know exercise? Goo. Goo, 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 goo. Ooh, or you could say gee, 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 goo, goo, goo. Or nee, 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 no, 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 no. So goo or gee, new, knee or gee might be a good choice instead of ooh. I have a hard time pronouncing new, I see. After ooh, e, you might think about doing even no. No, no, no. Oh, that's what you're going to. I see. Well, you could try this out too. No, no, no to no, no, no. No, 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 no. Same principle, going from a more closed to a more open vowel. No, 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 no. Will help develop your mix as well. It's 2:34. I have to kind of draw things to a close today a little sooner because I've got a full afternoon and then I have rehearsals tonight, so I don't have a break at all. And I don't know, for those of you who do follow what I do around here, I auditioned for the show Camelot and auditioned for the role of Pellinore. And Pellinore is the somewhat of a comic relief, but also sage and confidant of King Arthur. And it's a great role. Sorry for the way my voice is evolving today. And we're starting rehearsals tonight. So it's not a singing role, but I am going to be singing some of the ensemble, I believe, particularly the ending. Okay, so Subia, I'm all thanks to you. Thanks, Subia. Sunrath, thanks so much. Really needed that confirmation. I haven't been confident with myself lately. I have to go now. Okay, thank you for staying up so late and joining us. Thanks, everybody. Love and appreciate you. This is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 69. How raising the key makes singing easier. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, you can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Thanks.